Rastaklat. Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your boy CoolStoryBrobat bringing you another 2017 UU Open Round 1 replay here. This battle is Amaroq versus Pohjis. And now I want to ask you a thought-provoking question, kind of like a riddle. What do both teams have, yet both teams hate, yet both teams' main answer is the same thing? If your answer is Vinkun, well, Suicune, but mainly if it's running Scald, Substitute, Calm Mind, and Protect, then you're absolutely correct. Vinkun is a threat to both of these teams, no matter how you look at it. But honestly, based on team analysis, I want to say I think Pohjis has the upper hand here with the Vinkun, being a dominant threat, because Pohjis has, there's two reasons why I say this. One, Amaroq's main answer to an opposing Vinkun is Latias. That's about it. That's the only other thing besides maybe Gliscor they could break a Suicune substitute. Pohjis has a Weavile and a Mega Beedrill. Mega Beedrill puts pressure on Latias. Weavile can pursue trap Latias any time of day if it wants to. You take Latias out of play on Amaroq's team, Vinkun becomes like 100 times more of a big threat than it already was. But Pohjis' team doesn't really appreciate Vinkun either, but to his advantage at least, his Mega Beedrill, his Weavile, his own Latias, and his Cobalion are at least capable of breaking an opposing Suicune substitute. So on paper at least, he still has somewhat of a fighting chance against this thing. But needless to say, those threats, the Beedrill, the Weavile, and the Latias, they get checked very hard by Mega Steelix on Amaroq's team. So really, this match is going to come down to either Pohjis taking out Latias early, getting Suicune in and going for a sweep, or Amaroq using Mega Steelix and playing very smart with his Latias to keep Vinkun out of the play. Using his Mega Steelix to deal with Pohjis' offensive threats, and then getting his own Vinkun in to go for a sweep late game. Like I said, I think Pohjis has the upper hand here, but Amaroq is known to be a very good player, so what this is going to come down to is all about skill and who can outplay who. So let's see how that goes. Pohjis is going to lead off with his Mega Beedrill here. Amaroq's going to lead off with a Mega Steelix. He's going to trade a chip damage critical U-turn that does nothing for some stealth rocks here. Pohjis is going to U-turn out, go to his Amoonguss. Amaroq is going to go to Tentacruel. He's going to let that be the sleep fodder as he switches it into Spore. Amaroq is going to double switch back out into Gliscor. Pohjis is going to go to Latias on the Tentacruel. Gliscor obviously doesn't want to deal with the Latias, so he has to switch out, go back to Steelix. Latias defaults away to Stealth Rock, and Pohjis goes back to his Amoonguss, but obviously Latias can't do jack to Steelix, so he just gets his rocks back up for free. Amaroq goes to Tentacruel on this Amoonguss, punishes it with Liquid Ooze for using Giga Drain, but it's not really doing a lot. In fact, Giga Drain does more to Tentacruel than Liquid Ooze does to Amoonguss, so Amaroq doesn't want to deal with that. He switches out, goes to his Gliscor. Giga Drain does a nice, hefty chunk to this Gliscor, like over a quarter of its health before Toxic Heal damage, and it kind of just makes you wonder, what the heck kind of Wheaties has this Amoonguss been eating that is hitting this hard? Or is Gliscor just that frail on the special side? Either way, Gliscor don't want to deal with it. It can't even roost in front of the Amoonguss because it loses flying typing and would take a ton from Giga Drain. So Amaroq goes to his Latias, drops a Draco on the Amoonguss' face, but insult to injury, the Amoonguss is dual powder, hits the Latias with a stun spore, crippling it, taking it out of play. Now Pohjis does a weird play here. He goes to Latias and sacrifices it to Sylveon just to defog away hazards, and then goes to his Cobalion, takes like half from Hyper Voice just to set up Stealth Rock on a Sylveon. I don't get why he does that, and then goes for the Iron Head after. But, he gets the +2 off. Latias hangs on with just 1% from the Iron Head. Revenge kills the Cobalion with a Psychic. Weavile uses Pursuit, takes the Latias out of play. Prophecy is getting fulfilled here. Vinkun is looking like a threat. Amaroq's team is looking like a nice tasty snack for the Vinkun. So, Steelix is going to come in to revenge kill this Weavile. Heavy slam it. I don't get why he didn't just go straight into Suicune right away when he had the chance to. I don't get why he had to just sacrifice his Weavile. Pohjis goes to his Suicune, obviously. Amaroq's only remaining answer to Vinkun is his own Vinkun. And this is the part of the battle that I really don't want to narrate, but I'm going to talk a little bit over anyway just to explain what's happening here. What you have here is something that I have honestly not seen since 2013. You have Suicune getting into a Calm Mind war with an opposing Suicune. Now, I always kind of wondered, if this kind of thing were to happen with a pair of Vinkuns, which one is the one that's going to win? Is it going to be the one that set up first? Or is it going to be the one that attacked first? Who knows? Who really knows? But I really want you to take the situation in your mind. Okay, take the situation here. You have a Vinkun and another Vinkun setting up on each other. And now imagine something like, imagine the most unbreakable thing you could think of. Imagine a Nokia cell phone, okay? Work with me here. Imagine a Nokia cell phone, okay? But this cell phone is fat. It's not just freaking bulletproof. It's fat. It's obese. It's disgusting. It can take hits for days, years, months, centuries, whatever. Now imagine that this Nokia cell phone is so strong and so durable that every time you punch it, you get twice as fatigued as you normally would just by throwing a single punch at it. Even if your punch misses, you get fatigued by it because it's exerting that much pressure on you. Okay, now let's take it a step further. Let's say this cell phone has the ability to throw a magical plushie in front of it that allows it to sponge damage from you. Okay? And that plushie can take hits, a quarter of the damage that it would take to break this cell phone. Yeah, that plushie can take it. But add it further to the fact that this plushie can also instantly protect itself for a single turn. And while you're swinging at it, trying to get that damage off, you're getting tired as heck. You're looking like freaking... I don't even know. I was trying to think of a professional boxer who got staggered before he got knocked the heck out, and I can't think of anybody. But you're basically looking like you just ran a marathon trying to punch this thing as it's protecting itself. Now take that situation further, this disgusting Nokia cell phone with a plushie in front of it, and take another disgusting Nokia plushie cell phone and throw it in front of it and have them fight each other. And that's basically what you get here. You get two fat, obese, disgusting walls getting to a wrestling match here with each other, basically trying to outlast one another until one runs out of PP and is forced to struggle. That's what you get here. It is disgusting, it is absurd, it is ridiculous. I don't even want to narrate it no more, so you know what I'm gonna do, fam? I'm just gonna cut my narration here and I'm gonna let you just watch the rest of this. Okay, and we're back now, and that session answered a lifelong question of mine. If two Vinkun set up against each other, who's the winner? The answer is simply the one that set up first, because he had used his PP. However, Amaroq's Suicune is not far behind, because Pohjis' Mega Beedrill is setting up free swords dances against a struggling, burned Vinkun. Did all of 17% to this Mega Beedrill. Now this Mega Beedrill, in all of its +4 attack glory, busts out a U-turn against this Steelix. It's not able to kill. I don't know why he doesn't have Drill Run. I think even Knockoff might have been able to kill that Mega Steelix from the range he was at, but he seemed to have lacked either move. So unfortunately, it's not going to be a sweep here, meaning Amaroq has a fighting chance to still take this game back with his glide score against this Amogus, which is hitting unusually hard for some questionable reason. Is this max special attack Amogus, or is glide score naturally that frail on the special defense side? I can't tell. But either way, the glide score has a sword stance up. He's going to be going for roost against this Amogus. However, because he loses his flying typing, as I mentioned earlier, he is going to take a lot of extra damage from Giga Drain, enough that, roosting isn't necessarily an entirely safe play. So the glide score gets hit with a foul play out of nowhere. Critical hit foul play does like almost 2/3 of his glide score, but he's going to keep roosting. He's going to keep just chilling here, hoping to get another, just another turn to possibly set up a sword stance. I don't know if he wants to, with foul play being a relevant issue. Or at least just another chance to keep hitting this thing with Earthquake, see what he's got. Unfortunately, he needs this glide score to win the match, because Sylveon obviously isn't taking on Mega Beedrill. Tentacruel's asleep, and that's a sword stance Mega Beedrill, and it most likely will come out on top in the long run. So really it comes down to this glide score carrying the weight of the world on its shoulders, because neither of glide score's partners can even really switch in. So it's all or nothing here. Amaroq has to play smart, he has to play conservatively, but at the same time, he has to get this Amogus out of his face. Maybe his opponent might choke. He goes for a foul play, does like 34% to him. It's not really doing much more than what Giga Drain is doing. So, but he's going to stick to going for foul play, and it's definitely a punishing move if glide score sets up another sword dance. So he's in kind of a bind here, because he can't get a clean 2-hit KO off on this Amogus without a +4, but at the same time, he can't easily wear it down. It's just a matter of wearing it down and still having enough health for Beedrill at the end, which he finally manages to do. So he manages to finally take out this Amogus. Mega Beedrill's here, you're a +2, takes the poison jab like it's nothing, hits that Beedrill with an Earthquake, drops him into the ground. That is game 1. Good game Pohjis, good game Amaroq. That Suicune Star War was pretty excruciating to actually sit here and record. I think like the first couple of times I tried to record this video, I actually dozed off, and like this video ended up being like over like 38 minutes long on accident. So I had to like go back and just redo it a couple of times. But yeah, I condensed it as much as possible so it wasn't as painful to watch. But really, I thought that was just an interesting first round overall. Pohjis made some weird play. He let Weavile get killed by Mega Steelix. He let Sylveon kill Latios just to defog hazards away when he really didn't even need to. But, hopefully, now that they've both gotten their teams broken in, hopefully those plays don't set the game for what game 2 is going to be looking like. I still don't know why that Amogus did so much to glide score, but let's go on to game 2 now. Alright, so game 2, we shook the rust off a little bit. We got past that big Suicune Calm Mind war we had going on there. We got our gears turning. This is going to be a nice, interesting match. Not a single Suicune in sight. Praise the Lord. Okay, so these guys both bring out some offensive looking teams here. Pohjis' team looks a little bit more on the bulky offensive side, especially with the defensive core of Mantine and Mega Steelix. Now, Amaroq's team might not look as scary, but don't be fooled. Because the thing here is that Togekiss. It looks like it could be a default Togekiss, if not default Latios or Caesar. But if that's a nasty plot Togekiss, that's pretty scary, especially for bulky offense, because what really wants to deal with that thing? Now, we take it a step further and say Togekiss has like Fire Blast or Aura Sphere, or even a Z move for either of those attacks. That means Steelix is no longer a reliable answer to this Togekiss, because it can get blown out by one of its coverage moves. And if that happens, basically Pohjis is going to be in a very tight position, and he's going to have to rely on like Stone Edge from Crocodile, if it's even packing that. It looks like this might be Scarf Crocodile, so it probably has Stone Edge on it. Or he's gonna have to rely on Chandelure to take out this Togekiss. But, you know, late game Togekiss sweep is very probable. Infernape also looks kind of scary. It really depends on the coverage move that he's packing. To me, I think this Infernape, I mean, it could either be Life Orb with Gunk Shot, which would be scary, or it could be Scarf, and it's really hard to tell which. But Pohjis does have threats of his own. His Primarina is looking very dangerous to Amaroq's team. Amaroq only has one water resist and only one fairy resist, and, you know, the water resist doesn't really want to come in on Primarina. It's Latias, by the way. It doesn't typically want to come in on Primarina. The prediction is going to be difficult. Pohjis also has a Conqueror, Flame Orb Conqueror. Even with, thanks to Facade, even Togekiss doesn't necessarily want to come in on that. So this battle is going to come down to whether or not Amaroq has the most dangerous Togekiss set in the nation on his team, and how well Pohjis can use his offensive threats, his wall breakers in Primarina and Conqueror, to break down Amaroq's team. So let's get started here. Amaroq is actually going to double switch his Swampert out into Scizor on this Mantine. He makes a crazy prediction because it comes in on a Toxic. He predicted a Toxic, takes a Scald to the face, doesn't get burned. Amaroq switches out, goes into Togekiss as the Mantine uses Roost. Togekiss is going to nasty plot up here. Primarina don't want none of that. Primarina don't want none of that, bro. Get flinched, get the Air Slash, knock Primarina out early. I don't know why the heck he allowed Primarina to just go down like that, but what much did he really have for this thing? So just to scout, in case Togekiss has a lethal move, he doesn't Mega Evolve. He keeps Steelix unmega to preserve the sturdy ability so it can hang on with 1% HP. Get off a heavy slam that does like 2/3 to this Togekiss, but the Z all-out pummeling is what blows this Steelix into 2018. And, you know, Steelix gets finished off by an Air Slash because it was at 1%. Crocodile comes in, tries to revenge kill the Togekiss with a Stone Edge, but Amaroq predicts, goes to Swampert readily. Pohjis is going to go to Mantine. Amaroq brings in Weavile, goes for the Icicle Crash on his Mantine, I guess trying to see like what he's working with as far as EVs go, and trying to get a flinch off on this thing, hoping that the Weavile doesn't get burned. But the Weavile does not get burned, but unfortunately he misses the Icicle Crash. So Weavile's going to go for another Icicle Crash again. He's basically just going to try to swing it as best as he possibly can, but unfortunately the Weavile gets burned on the Scald. He needed that one not to burn, and it did. Unfortunate. Amaroq is going to go back to his Togekiss here. He's going to Air Slash. The Chandelure get hit with a critical hit. The Chandelure reveals leftovers, so it is indeed sub-CM Chandelure. It's not a Specs or a Scarf set. He sets up a substitute, you know, take advantage of the offensive presence. Amaroq has to let his Scizor die to a Flamethrower, and now he's going to be kind of hard-pressed to take out this Chandelure substitute, but that's what Weavile's for by this point, Death Fodder. So Weavile manages to pursue the Chandelure, break his substitute. It didn't have enough health to make another substitute, so Latias is going to come in clean and revenge kill this Chandelure. Pohjis is going to go to his Mantine, take the incoming Draco Meteor, and just keep roosting up, basically. I doubt this Infernape is Thunder Punch. He's not Thunder Punch, but he is packing the Life Orb Gunk Shot. But this Mantine is just sitting here being fat and disgusting, and it is looking like a problem for Amaroq to break through this Mantine. All he has to do is just sit here, roost, take the Gunk Shots to the face, buy this time until Infernape succumbs to Life Orb damage and is in KO range from the Scald. He gets a critical hit, which puts the Mantine at 49%, but it's not enough. It barely even constitutes as a 2-hit KO with leftovers. So the Mantine kills off the Infernape. Amaroq goes to Togekiss. The Mantine dodges the flinch. It gets hit with the Air Slash. This time it flinches. Unfortunate. The Mantine was almost able to break through that. So Pohjis is going to go to his Crocodile to revenge kill the Togekiss. He goes for knockoff, but it falls short of a KO. That is unfortunate for Pohjis because this is going to allow Amaroq to swing this game back around with the Roost. He has to go to his Conqueror, gets the Flame Orb off, goes back to his Crocodile, takes the Air Slash. Oh my goodness, it almost did half to it. Not looking good. Togekiss is going to take this Stone Edge to the face because it's at full health, hit the Crocodile with an Aura Sphere, knock that thing out of the park, win the speed tie against the Chandelure, cut it down with an Air Slash. Conqueror don't want none of this work, son. He gets flinched down and he's basically going to get cooked. And just so he doesn't go for any disrespect, and also probably because he doesn't want to miss, Amaroq finishes off the Conqueror with a nice hearty Aura Sphere to the chin. So that's the series. Pohjis lost, unfortunately. It was looking like a really close game too. If he had gone for Stone Edge on that Togekiss instead of knockoff, it might have been a roll from where he was at. It's hard to tell, like, I'm not sure. I mean, actually, never mind. It might have been a roll from that point, I don't know. But yeah, if he had gone for Stone Edge, as unreliable as it is, and killed that Togekiss, I think Pohjis might have had this battle. He might have easily had this battle because, I mean, he still had his own Crocodile, which could have revenge killed the Latias later. He still had Conqueror, which would not have been a problem to break Swampert down with later in the match. But that's how it turned out, unfortunately. So good games, both of you guys. Congratulations, Amaroq, for moving on to round 2. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, favorite. Stay tuned for the next match, and pray that there's no more Suicune on Suicune action, because that's just too hot for YouTube.